Hello, good morning. It's Monday. I'm sorry if you hear traffic. I just can't not be outside right now. They are paving our apartment complex, or resurfacing our apartment complex's parking lot today. So if you hear a bunch of noise, I'm so sorry. I did a little bit of vlogging yesterday on Sunday, but I didn't talk much because there wasn't really much going on. So I'm just going to recap it now and go over that footage. Sunday, woke up. My friend and I hosted an event. We co-run this like social group for like women in Phoenix. We volunteer, we do crafting and stuff. So we did like a reusing old t-shirts craft, kind of upcycling old t-shirts craft yesterday. It was one that my friend knew how to do. It was like a no-sew. You kind of cut a t-shirt into a tote bag. So I did that, had some breakfast. I had a yummy blueberry muffin. I had a matcha. I took some footage of the craft. I think it's something I want to try again. I tried double lining it with 2 t-shirts, so it was kind of reversible, and I would still do that again. The only issue is I had this white t-shirt that was so old, it was kind of brittle. So I was tying these knots pretty tight so that they would, stay in place and not unravel. But the more I worked with the t-shirt, it just started to kind of crumble. So unfortunately, the shirt did not make it. Bag did not make it because by the time I took it home and was working on it at home, it was just starting to fall apart. I hope they're not starting because my husband needs to move his truck. I gotta go see something. Okay, I'm back. Like I said, they're repaving our complex today, and we had to move our cars, but they weren't supposed to start till 9, so my husband was already going to be at work. And they decided to start at 7, so I just moved his truck. I hate moving his truck because it's so big, but I want to wake him up and fluster him and be like, go move your truck. So I went and moved it. I'm sorry if you hear it now. I still want to be outside, but it's quite annoyingly loud. I hope you don't hear it too much. I need to get a mic. I went to a float and read at my yoga studios. I read Parable of the Sower by Octavia Butler. I guess I'm about a third of the way done. It just doesn't really feel like it. I didn't film anything just because I was just reading for an hour. And then my husband and I went to get lunch right next door because I had a second yoga class in an hour. So we went next door, we had some ramen. It was pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, it gave me a really upset stomach, so I don't know if I would go back there. And then I went to an actual yoga class at my yoga studio. We came home and I put away some laundry. I didn't film that. And then I went to bed and woke up. So we go inside so you don't have to listen to this resurfacing noise anymore. Good morning. Good morning. Oh my. You were just getting right up in there, aren't you? I put in a root serum and also the Aprez Bond Repair Spray stuff. So I'm gonna let that sit for a while. And while that is sitting and marinating, I'm going to clean the apartment because we didn't have time to do that this weekend. We were really busy. After that, I'm gonna work. Usually Monday mornings are my lightest work day. So I try and catch up on cleaning, laundry, maybe a grocery shop, that kind of stuff Monday morning while the day is kind of ramping up because it is my lightest work day. It's the only day I really have the opportunity to do that. I'm gonna take advantage of a slow morning. We'll just go from there. Cook Unity came and I want to do a haul. It's not sponsored. It's never sponsored. One of the things I like about Cook Unity is they deliver in these reusable bags, and each week you just put out the previous week's bag and they take it and then reuse it. So there's much less waste than with a HelloFresh. Let's open this up. I'm really excited for this week. First, we have a cookie. We signed up with a promo code that gives us a free cookie for life. Or we will crumble these up and put it in ice cream. It's actually really good. Everything that we got 2 of this week. So we got 2 of these creamy chicken and bacon pastas. That is what it looks like. When I'm editing this, all of this should be eaten. So I'll put some notes somewhere of what our thoughts were on this one. Next, we have classic bistro meatloaf. We have 2 of these. I'll show what this one looks like. I think that looks pretty dang good. Next, I'm so excited for this one. We've had this one before. This was in our first Cook Unity box. It's the barbecue chicken with gooey mac and cheese. We have 2 of these. It is delicious. Like, the barbecue chicken is really good. I'm like weird with chicken and like the meal preps, like the pre-done meals with chicken. This chicken is so good. The sauce is so good. The mac and cheese. I'm a mac and cheese like fanatic, and I think they're very good. So I'm really excited for this one. I wish we were eating at home tonight so we could eat this tonight, but we're going out tonight. Last, we have 2 California style chicken enchiladas. I've not had this one before. Daniel has had this one. I think I may have had a bite of it, but it comes with 3, I don't wanna, there's like, this one's quite saucy, so I don't wanna spill it. There's 3 chicken enchiladas, some black beans, and a sauce. When he made this, it smelled amazing. So I'm really excited for all of the meals this week. We just keep his bag in our coat closet until the next Monday, and we just put it outside and they come in. Yeah, I'm gonna put these away, get back to cleaning. I have a work call in about an hour. So I'm gonna see how much cleaning I can get done before that call starts and then get started with my work day. Share an exciting package I just got. So this is a magazine. I don't even know if I would call it a magazine. First of all, the actual construction of it is like cardstock, thick paper. Like, it's not, you know, a magazine material, but it's called Bella Grace, and it's a, if I remember correctly, it's kind of a collection of worksheets, writings, articles, and poems. I don't even, quotes, photos, just, I truly don't know how to describe it. It's just, you know, writings and poems and stuff from like all kinds of different women. It's definitely very women focused. I do remember that. And just like great vibes. Like, truly, like the best way I can describe this is just vibes all around. Like, let me see. I'll just like flip through this really quickly. Like, there's a little spot to do like a little worksheet. There's like quotes, poems. There's another little worksheet. Just cozy, feminine, lovely vibes just to kind of slowly go through. I'm so excited to spend so much time flipping through this. So the haul. Beautiful. Thank you. Good morning. It is Tuesday. I am so tired. It's about 6:40. I just woke up, and I mean, we didn't get back from Project Hail Mary till like 10:40, and then by the time you like brush your teeth and get in your pajamas and get into bed, and I scrolled for a little bit. I read some of my Bella Grace magazine, bookazine. It was really fun. I didn't go to bed until like 11:30, so I'm pretty tired. I did not have a good work day. I was not very productive. I'm sure you can tell by the lack of like heads down vlog footage that I had. I just had a really hard time focusing yesterday. And then I got a migraine, which maybe that's why I couldn't focus, because my body was preparing me. So I got a migraine. And then we went to Red Robin. I had a Sprite and a burger and some fries, and that seemed to kind of knock it out. Could have been placebo, I know. It seemed to help, or it could have just probably the medication. But the migraine did go away, thank goodness, because I was worried it was gonna ruin Project Hail Mary for me, but it didn't. It was gone by the time we got to the movie. So yeah, we watched Project Hail Mary. I'm gonna put up a spoiler warning because I want to talk about 2 things. I want to talk about the book and I want to talk about the movie. So if you have not seen the movie and you don't want spoilers about the movie, because when I'm posting this it'll be just coming out for like a day, and if you don't want spoilers on the book as well, and like a book versus the movie, if you're planning on reading the book, then also don't watch this either. I have this book journal that my friend got me, so I put some notes from the Project Hail Mary book that I think kind of explain my thoughts on the book versus the movie. First of all, movie. It's gonna sound like I'm nitpicking it and that I didn't enjoy it. I want to be so clear. I loved the movie. I loved the movie. I just loved the book so much more. I think the book is like at least top 3 books of all time. It might be my favorite book. It genuinely might be my favorite book. I think I need to reread it before I make that claim, but the book to me was like, it changed my life as a reader. My biggest thing is the stuff that they had to cut, the stuff that they had to change for the sake of time. It felt a bit rushed. And it was already a 2.5-hour movie. Like, it was a long movie. You know, again, it's gonna sound like I'm ripping it apart. I truly loved it. I loved the score was actually amazing. Like, anytime there's like work happening on the ship, like they're building the chains or there's like a tense moment and they're like kind of working, the music in those scenes was so good. I can't explain it. I really love the score. I can't wait to like look it up today and like listen to it. I loved Strat. I wish we could have gotten more Strat. Next, I'm gonna get into like my book review of Project Hail Mary. So I gave it 5 stars across the board. I overall gave it 5+. I love how they did Rocky's voice. I think this is like the reason that people loved the audiobook. The notes when he couldn't understand him and it was just music notes, and then even when he could understand him, there was still the notes underlying Rocky's voice. And I didn't love how Rocky's normal voice was almost just like Chewbacca noises, like it's not what Rocky sounds like. And so I was a little frustrated with Rocky's voice because it just didn't seem right to me. One of my favorite quotes was, "How long since last sleep question? Grumpy, angry, stupid, how long since last sleep question?" They did include this in a completely different part, which I thought was funny. I thought it was nice that they included it because I think it was one of the most memorable quotes from the book. It really shows Rocky's kind of sass a little bit, but it was a completely different part. And they also barely threw it in, like it was kind of chaotically thrown in, so I only noticed it because I really like that quote. One thing I think they did is they didn't make it as serious. I think they changed Grace's character in a way that made he was a bit less lovable. Like in Project Hail Mary, the book, I loved Grace. I thought he was very smart. I thought he was very well spoken. I loved the way his brain worked, and we'll get to that in a minute. They kind of stripped all of that out. They made it more about the relationship with Grace and Rocky, which I totally get, but they almost stripped both of their characters a little bit, which was frustrating. We are as smart as evolution made us, so we're the minimum intelligent we need to ensure that we can dominate our planet. They completely glazed over the fact that Grace and Rocky were the only species that were looking for this, and that's because they were at the same intelligence level relatively. You know, there are probably some other planets and stars that are infected that don't have the technology to travel to Tau Ceti, and there are other planets and stars affected that have so much intelligence that they don't need to travel to Tau Ceti, and they kind of glazed over that. And they also kind of glazed over are they from like the same, I don't want to say lineage, but like is Earth and Arid like so similar? Is there some connection there? They completely glazed over that. I don't even think they addressed it at all. Alright, my favorite parts. When Rocky and Grace are starting to communicate, Ryland says he's gonna go take a nap and be back in 2 hours, but oversleeps, and it's like 8 hours, and Rocky gets so sassy. Completely cut that scene out. And then when Rocky saves Ryland, it was so sad, and of course I expected it, but it was so beautiful, such an important, heartfelt, and sad part. I didn't like this scene in the movie, to be honest, at all. I remember it was like my favorite part of the book. I was crying uncontrollably. It was so, to me, it signaled like them being selfless for one another. In the movie, the way it was just like red flashing lights and everything was moving so quickly. I understand they're trying to show like how chaotic this is. I think it wasn't as like gut-wrenchingly clear what was happening. It was kind of just like, you know, a rushed thing. I don't know. Okay, lessons and takeaways. This is where I feel like the movie kind of missed the mark. Collaboration and diversity. Having a scientist and a mechanic from 2 planets collaborate was a wonderful reminder of how different perspectives, backgrounds, and experience helps us. I think they really didn't emphasize enough just how amazing of an engineer Rocky is, they kind of touched on it. They really kind of glazed over Grace's amazement and how amazed he was at Rocky. Another lesson takeaway, I put the power of asking why. So many of the problems were solved because they asked why instead of bandaging the problem. Like, I keep thinking of different problems they encounter where they have like your immediate bandage fix, right? Like they stop the problem, they stop the Tauniba from eating the astrophage, and then it's the asking of why. I understand the movie was already 2.5 hours, they can't include all the science, but like, wish there was a way to leave that like deep science and the asking why and the problem solving in the movie, because the problem solving was like one of my favorite parts of the book. It sounds like I hated the movie. I really didn't. I just loved the book so much, and I was sad they had to cut stuff out. So that's my Project Hail Mary book summary. And other things I didn't talk about. Strat, they cut so much of her out to the point where I feel like it made her more of a villain than she actually was, because they don't show the sacrifices that she was making, the sacrifices that she was really forcing others to make as well. I think the court scene, I knew they were going to cut it because, again, they just didn't have the time. But the court scene would have been a really interesting scene to add to give her that layer of like, yes, she's doing questionable things, but her motives and her intention behind it are truly pure, because it would show that she's making sacrifices too. Like, I think in the book it addresses like she could be facing, you know, all kinds of legal repercussions, and that she's willing to face after the Hail Mary takes off, and then her work is done, and then she'll face those consequences, whatever those may be. And she realizes like it might end up with her being in prison, but she's still willing to make that sacrifice because of the mission. And I wish that was addressed a bit more, because it felt more betrayal-y when she forced Grace to go. And it was a betrayal for sure. Like, there is that layer of betrayal, and there is that layer of almost murder, you know. But it felt like it didn't go deep enough with Strat, and I wish that wasn't the case. Also, whatever that karaoke scene was, I did not enjoy that at all. It did not feel at all like Strat. Anyways, I have a really busy work day. I have a report that I need to do before 11 a.m. because I present it at 11 a.m. So I need to go do that, and then yeah. Okay, the report got done. The call went really well. I just wrapped that up. I'm gonna go take a breather because that was a very stressful morning, and I knew it was going to be because I was trying to get this report done yesterday, and the day just got away from me, so I knew I was gonna have to scramble to get that done on time today. So I'm gonna take a breather, maybe make some lunch. I've got some stuff to make some sandwiches, and then, you know, we'll check back in a little bit. Okay, I ordered some lunch because I just need to disconnect a bit, take a bit of a break. So I have my work computer. I have my big ol' stack of fun things. So I have my Bella Grace that I was reading a bit last night, and I want to share something I wrote in one of the little prompts. And then I have my 3 books that I am wanting to read. Parable of the Sower, I need to finish by Saturday, so I'm probably going to read that. And then if I get bored with that, I might jump to one of these 2 nonfiction ones, Heart, Breath, Mind, or I Didn't Do the Thing Today. And then I have my book journal, so I can write down some notes as I'm reading. I'm gonna do this, wait for my lunch to arrive, eat some lunch, and then we'll get back to work. Okay, so I have the Bella Grace thing here, and I was reading it last night before bed. I was reading this kind of collection of stories here. It's called 11 Strangers Who Light Up Our Day. And it says, there are certain people we encounter regularly, even if only for a moment, who leave lasting impressions on us. It might be your mail carrier who always waves, your neighbor you exchange smiles with each morning. Our readers share someone they don't know well, but whose presence has made an impact on their lives. And then it's just like people who like responded on Instagram, and they share these really lovely stories about people that they interact with on a daily basis, maybe not a daily basis, but people in their lives that they interact with, but they don't really know, but these people still bring joy to their lives. And then there's a little section to write your own. So I wanted to share some of mine. I said, there's a woman who's always in my restorative yoga classes. She's taken 300 classes. I remember when I first started and they were like, it's your 300th class. And I was like, she's taken 300 of these? That's crazy. She mentioned it's the only thing that she remains consistent in, and I found it inspiring. Each class, she brings such positive energy and her laugh absolutely fills the room. And then I also wrote about a Fry's store pickup guy. He's an older man, maybe in his 50s, who has always something fun to say. Whether he's talking about how much he loves Red Bull, because we always buy Red Bull, or the sunny weather, he always brings a smile to my face. So, and I have a couple more, but I'm not gonna read the whole thing. All right, I've moved upstairs. Say hi, Pepper. And I really, really, really need to read this book because we're meeting for book club on Saturday and I'm busy on Friday, so I really gotta read. So I put these little tabs of how much I need to read per night. So tonight I have to get from page 113 to about 183. So let's go read. Good morning vlog. It is Wednesday. I am once again outside because it's gonna get hot soon and I'm trying to just enjoy it. I was reading Parable of the Sower last night and I'm gonna be real, I almost DNF'd it. I was actually on the verge of just slamming the thing shut and just like, I don't know why I get so, there's like a weird pride with not DNFing books. And I need to be more comfortable being like, this book is not doing it for me. I don't want to finish it, and so I'm not going to, because what was so frustrating about it is I have a stack of books in the corner that I just got from the library. I have my Bella Grace bookazine thing that I'm like eager to read. I'm like itching to read. But I feel like I'm stuck here reading this one because it's due for book club on Saturday. No pigeons, no pigeons. I ended up turning on the audiobook on Spotify and like reading with the audiobook, and it helped. It's not even that it's a challenging book to read, it's just, to me, the plot is really boring, which is so heartbreaking because like conceptually the plot is very interesting. Okay, I came inside because my neighbor was outside and I got shy. The way the writing is, it almost feels, I had always said since I started this book that it felt like it was something I was told to read in like late middle school, early high school. Somebody decided to come snuggle. Yes, she did. Yes, she did. Oh my goodness. I just got a Fry's order delivered, so we're gonna do a little grocery haul midweek. New flavor of Coke Zero just came out. It's cherry vanilla flavored. Got some paper towels, some Greek yogurt bars, some Halo Top ice cream. I was trying to get a Yasso, is that how you say it? Yasso ice cream, but they were all out. Eggs. Got some unsweetened almond milk along with some almond and coconut creamer. Some of these are really expensive. I'm sure you know these are really expensive, but I love pomegranates and I love these in my yogurt bowls, so I sacrifice it and I get them. Trying a new brand of yogurt. I usually buy the Noosa yogurts, but they have a lot of added sugar, and these ones, they still have added sugar, but it's not as much. So I got vanilla, raspberry, and another raspberry. I had blueberry, but I think they were out of that. And then, speaking of pomegranates, like I said, they were out of like just pomegranate juice. Like I usually get just one of these that's like a pomegranate juice and I just drink it throughout the week, but they were out of it, so I got some of these pomegranate teas. So it's pomegranate honey green tea, pomegranate peach passion white tea, and then pomegranate orange blossom white tea. I got some mashed avocado packets to make with some turkey wraps. Said turkey for turkey wraps. And then I've never had this brand of tortillas before, or like wraps before. So give these a try. I got some limes just because I like having limes on hand. And then 2 packs of these croissant rolls. And then non-fridge stuff. I got this granola, new brand for me, but it was chocolate and berries, which sounded really, really yummy. Good old Annie's mac and cheese. Got some tuna. I love tuna. Got some creamy almond butter, salt and vinegar chips. And then I've never had these before either. They're Mexican wedding cookies. I've had Mexican wedding cookies before, but not this brand, so excited to try that. Thursday. I realized I never actually wrapped up the vlog yesterday. So after dinner, I went to yoga. I had a really, really nice class. I had a good heart-to-heart with my instructor actually, so it was really nice just to chat with her, and it was a great class. And then I came home. We played with Pepper for a little bit. Then I went upstairs, got into bed to read, and I officially DNF'd Parable of the Sower. It's really hard for me to not finish a book. I've only just now kind of gotten comfortable with it, and I'm still not very comfortable with it. I feel a lot of dumb guilt for not finishing a book. Kind of comes from a pride thing of like, even if I did finish a book I didn't like I feel like some pride with that. Almost like a misery competition. Like, I do the same thing when I have a headache. I'm like, I don't need to take it, but I'll be fine. It's like, you don't get a prize for being miserable. I'll read some of the notes and quotes I did like. I put, Secretary of Astronauts don't have to know much about science, they just have to know about politics. That felt very relevant to our current administration, that's all I'll say. It's illegal to camp out on the street the way they do, the way they must. Also kind of relevant. I think it's weird that we criminalize homelessness because, like, what do you mean? I liked this one a lot. A tree cannot grow in its parents' shadows. And then I put chapter 11. I almost DNF'd at this point. It feels like something I'm being forced to read for school. Brings lots of anxiety. I need to be okay that not every book is my book, and I don't want to make myself not enjoy reading because I'm forcing myself to finish something that I'm not enjoying, because I've done that before, and it makes me get into the worst reading slump where I don't read for months. So that being said, I picked up this book last night. Picked up meaning I started reading it again. I got this from the library. I read the intro at the library to see if I liked it. It's called I Didn't Do the Thing Today. I had more fun reading like the last 2 pages of the intro last night than I had the entire time I was reading Parable of the Sower. And I'm not saying that to be mean. It's just not my kind of book. I unfortunately love nonfiction, self-help, whatever, that everybody seems to hate. It's not about becoming the most efficient version of yourself. If anything, it's about the opposite of that. Anyways, this is what I'm reading now. I'm so excited. So excited. Still struggling focusing for work, if I'm honest. That's kind of why I've been gravitating towards this book, is I've been really struggling doing the things that I say I'm gonna do, and I'm trying to just deal with that. So, more to come. Wow, look at you. Quick update. I don't think I have vlogged since Wednesday. I've taken some random clips here and there. Friday, most of Friday, I actually just edited videos. I don't think I did anything. And then Friday night, I went out with my friends. I didn't take too many clips. I took some clips, but it was my friend's birthday, so we went out for some drinks, we did some dancing. I didn't get home until 2 in the morning. And then Saturday, I had book club. So I came back from book club, had like 30 minutes just to like clean the apartment a little bit. I went to my parents. My mom and I got our nails done. This is what my nails look like. That's my nails. I like doing like kind of springy, summery nails because it's 100 degrees in Phoenix, so it feels like summer. So we played Catan. I lost. I was going after the sheep and I lost horribly. And then we came back and we watched some Ted Lasso last night. And then this morning we were gonna get up early and like deep clean the apartment and then do like a tea bus thing. I'm gonna get to that in a minute. Oh, Pepper decided that this is her vlog now. But we ended up getting a text that it was called Tea Around Town, and we're gonna get into that. It was called Tea Around Town, and we were originally supposed to go at 1. They were like, we've pushed you back to 6:30, which wasn't a big deal for us. Actually, I kind of liked it better because then we could spend the whole day like kind of deep cleaning the apartment and then go have tea after, so we were fine with that. So we basically spent most of the day deep cleaning the apartment. I took some footage I'll put in here. I washed the bedding, made the bed. I did so much more that I didn't film, but you know, whatever. So we deep cleaned the apartment. I did a little bit of editing, and then we got all ready to go on this Tea Around Town bus, which was, you get like little sandwiches, scones, treats, tea, and it was like a 90-minute tour around Phoenix. So again, they postponed us from 1 o'clock to 6:30, and so we were ready to go at 6:30, and at like 5:40 we get a text that like it's been canceled due to operational issues. And I was like, okay, whatever, sure, that's fine. So we're like, whatever, we'll just go to dinner and reschedule. So I did a little more research on this company, and they're definitely like a little questionable. Apparently like them last minute canceling is like super common. So we went to one of my favorite Italian places in like the Phoenix area. It's called Pizza to the Rescue, and I think a certain amount of their proceeds for their pizza go to like a puppy rescue. Really good food, really good vibes. So we went there, and now here we are. It's Sunday night. I don't work tomorrow. I have tomorrow as a mental health day, which I want to do like a whole little video on. I have unlimited PTO, so I know this isn't something that everybody can do, but I like to take one kind of mental health day a month, and not even like a mental health day, more so like I just call it like a me day, where like I try not to do any chores or cleaning or grocery shopping or errands or anything that feels like work or an obligation. And I try and take one day a month where I can just do what I want to do and what fills my cup and what brings me joy. So it might be reading, it might be crafting, it might be hiking, it might be scrolling on my phone for 8 hours, but I try and just try to the best of my ability take that time to just fill my cup. Pepper and I are gonna finish editing this vlog. Pepper, do you have any thoughts? Do you have any closing thoughts? No? Alright, I'm gonna end the vlog here. Bye.